In the quiet town of Willowbrook, there once lived a girl named Emily, whose disappearance shook the community to its core. 15 years had passed since that fateful night when she vanished without a trace. Her parents, Sarah and Daniel, had endured years of heartache and guilt, burdened by the dark secret they carried with them. On that chilling evening, as the moon hung low in the sky, Emily had slipped away from her cozy home, sneaking out to meet her secret boyfriend, Ethan. They had planned to elope, away from the prying eyes of disapproving parents. Emily's parents, driven by a mix of anger and fear, discovered their daughter's intentions and decided to confront her. The confrontation had escalated beyond control, and in a moment of blind rage, Emily's father, Daniel, had accidentally struck her, causing a fatal injury. Panic and remorse had taken hold of the couple, and they made a terrible decision that would haunt them for the rest of their lives. They buried Emily's lifeless body deep in the woods, erasing all evidence of their crime. As the years passed, the grief-stricken parents lived in fear, always expecting the truth to catch up with them. But the town had moved on, and the memory of Emily's disappearance began to fade. One fateful evening, as Sarah and Daniel sat in their dimly lit living room, the phone rang. The shrill sound pierced the heavy silence. Sarah picked up the receiver with trembling hands, her heart pounding in her chest. On the other end of the line, a voice spoke, a voice that sent shivers down their spines. "Mom, Dad, it's me," the voice said. Tears welled up in Sarah's eyes as she choked back a sob. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. "Emily? Is that really you?" "Yes, Mom, it's me," the voice replied, filled with warmth and familiarity. Sarah handed the phone to Daniel, their faces etched with disbelief. The years of pain and guilt seemed to lift in that moment, replaced by an overwhelming sense of relief and joy. They clung to the hope that their daughter had miraculously returned. But as they listened to Emily's voice, their joy quickly turned to horror. Emily began recounting the events of that dreadful night, describing how she had been abducted and held captive for years. She spoke of her harrowing escape and her desperate journey back home. Sarah and Daniel exchanged horrified glances, realizing the grim truth that their daughter had indeed returned, but not in the way they had hoped. She had somehow survived the ordeal they had thought they had inflicted upon her. Their secret was no longer safe. As Emily continued to speak, the weight of their crime bore down on them like an unbearable burden. The darkness of that night had returned to haunt them, and they now faced a choice between confessing their terrible sin or continuing to live in a web of deceit. The room grew colder as they listened in fear, their hearts heavy with the knowledge that their daughter had come back to expose the darkest corner of their souls, a secret they had hoped to bury forever.